George, can you help me set up my recording studio?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Where voiceover talent are stuck in their closets.
Is there a way to improve the quality of my audio files?
Oh yeah.
And they need to deliver finished audio tracks.
You are my hero.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet.
There is one man who takes it all on.
Video time, excellent. Whittam's World.
Whittam's World. Rated VO.
Hey there, everybody. This is George Whittam reporting for Whittam's World. I have to thank Gary Ericson for sending in this question. How do you decide the proper placement between your mouth and the mic, and where should the pop filter be relative to both? I have heard that the best placement for your mouth, assuming a pretty dead environment, is 6 to 8 inches away from the mic and off axis, either to the side as in your Whittam's World videos or above or below. My understanding is that the purpose of this distance is to maintain clear pickup while minimizing mouth noises and not overdoing the proximity effect. And the purpose of off-axis is to minimize puffs of air into the mic. How does a VO talent determine the best mic placement? At the end here he mentions that he has a standard round nylon pop filter and an AKG Perception 100 microphone, which is a microphone similar in shape to this one. And he also has the mic inside of some sort of homemade portable or collapsible voiceover booth type arrangement to try to deaden the space around the mic. So I will say that having those enclosures around the microphone, whether they're the Harlan Hogans or the homemade variation, definitely add a challenge to mic placement because it's really hard to get the mic exactly where you need it when it's down inside a box, okay? So whatever system you're using, make sure you mount it up high enough or on a microphone boom arm so that you can get the mic up at the ideal location. Mic placement is so crucial, okay? What I've found over the years of doing this is that the bigger the room that you're in, the further away from the microphone you can work the mic and still sound on mic, okay? So I'm in a room that's about 10 by 10 feet, but I have an open ceiling that's vaulted on an angle, and this room is cluttered with stuff. It's got bookshelves all the way around, books, there's just stuff everywhere. So it's one of those rooms that accidentally has pretty good acoustics, okay? Plus I have an acoustical baffle behind me, so that's deadening the room. So if the room acoustics aren't in order, mic placement becomes even more challenging, right? Because you have to be much tighter to the microphone in a smaller space or in a more enclosed area, okay? So I get to work further away because of my space. If you're in a small booth or the mic is in a small enclosure, you're going to find it difficult to get a sound that isn't terribly colored or have a lot of reflections or any kind of other negative aspects unless you're up tighter on the microphone. How tight can you work on the mic? Well, that does really depend on how you address the microphone. So as you can see, you guys, I'm not addressing the mic straight on like this. I'm addressing the microphone off slightly to the side. And the reason I do that is the reason I actually address the mic from the side like that is because it reduces or almost completely eliminates plosives, okay? Well, you're thinking, why, isn't that a pop screen? Isn't that a screen I see on the microphone there? Well, it absolutely is. So why do I have a pop screen on the mic and have to avoid plosives? Well, pop screens still do not reduce, they reduce plosives, but they do not eliminate all plosives, okay? They eliminate some, but not all. So because of that, we still have to be really careful about how we place our microphone. Now, as you can see, I have the ability of actually rotating my microphone in the mount here pretty far. And if I maintain the same head position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you'll start to hear what happens when the microphone is more off-axis. Off-axis means the microphone is being rotated on its own axis. And the further off-axis you go, the more dull the microphone will sound, but it'll also pick up less mouth noises and clicks and pops in your mouth because the sweet spot of the mic that's most sensitive to high frequencies where those sounds occur is right in the center or the front of the microphone. So working off-axis can help that a lot. But the pop screen is really mostly going to act as a means of protecting the microphone from errant spittle or something from your mouth that could get inside the microphone and then damage the capsule. Large diaphragm condensers are really sensitive to moisture, so that's mostly what the pop filter is doing for you. So I'm working the microphone a little bit closer than 6 to 8 inches. I'd say I'm about 4 to 6 inches away of the microphone. 6 to 8 or 8 inches is kind of gives you that hang 10 position. And that hang 10 position does work great if you have a great sounding room. So back to the small spaces we're mostly working in, you find that you do have to work the mic a little bit closer. You can get really close to the microphone without popping the mic. I'm only about 2, maybe 3 inches away from the microphone right now. But because I'm not facing the microphone, I'm actually facing across the microphone, I'm not having to worry about popping the mic with big plosives. That's so crucial, right? So you'll notice my pop screen, in this case I have a strap-on pop screen that's actually strapped to the microphone, is very close to the microphone itself. It's close to the element. In recording studios, you'll see more commonly round disc pop filters like the one he described, and they use those, I think, as much as a guide for the vocalist to learn where they should put their mouth. So they'll often put that round pop screen on its own stand or on a long flexible arm, and they will place it further out from the microphone, maybe 4 or 5 inches away. And I think that's a lot of the reason they're having to do that is because maybe they're working with a lot of less experienced vocalists that haven't done a lot of studio recording. And so it's necessary to use that as a guide. And a lot of vocalists are used to live stage performance, and they're used to having the microphone in their hand and almost pretty much touching their lips. And then that helps them stay consistent on the mic placement. Once you do figure out where the mic should be for your voice, and really it comes down to experimenting, hearing the way it sounds, playing it back, recording, playing it back, playing and recording with your voice at different distances. Once you figure out what works for you, sometimes I recommend spiking the floor with tape. So if you're standing, look down where your feet are, have a roll of tape handy. Once the microphone is kind of locked in the position where you want it to be, lean down, crouch down, and tape off where your toes are. That way, next time you walk up to the mic, you just have to step up to your tape line and start talking. It's going to make it much easier, especially if you're doing audiobooks or something where you're going to have long-form narration and you have to do pickups and work on a project over the course of time. Eventually, you'll just learn where the microphone should be. It'll just kind of be locked into a position that works for you, and you won't have to use those little training techniques anymore to help you align the microphone. So experiment. Don't be afraid to try things. Record and listen and record and listen and record and you get the idea. Listen a lot. Listen in headphones for the most accuracy. And if you're not really sure what you're getting to tape is right and your mic position's just right, send a sound check over. I'd be happy to take a listen to it. Or I'm available for consultation, and I can work with you personally over Skype and teach you how to use your microphone correctly to get the best results you possibly can. Thanks so much for sending in your questions. If you'd like to have your question answered on the show, please do send it in to whittamsworld@edgestudio.com, and I'll be glad to get to it as soon as I can. And we'd love to have more input from you guys in the near future, so please send in your questions. And don't forget to subscribe. Never miss another video. I'll keep these flowing as long as you keep sending me the questions. Thanks again. It's been George Whittam reporting for Whittam's World, and I'll see you guys next week.